we self-identified as a cooks collective. So we were a group of people that were really passionate about making food and good food and feeding people really good food. So that was a big piece of what we wanted to do. And being a workers-run collective meant that we were autonomous. So it was about a way of working where the workers are in control and make the decisions about the outcome of their work. So that was an important part. So a passion for cooking, an interest in organizing around a worker collective. But there was another piece that I think was really important and valuable to us, which was that we wanted to, I think implicitly, have a widespread radicalizing influence. We had an ethic of radical politics, but we wanted it to be able to be popularized. And there was a lot of talk and a lot of radicalization happening within the CSU, within the Montreal student movement at the time. But we, I think, wanted to try to draw people in a way that maybe seemed, at least on the outset, less subversive. And we thought that feeding people, or the result, or the act of feeding people, was something that was really easy to get a lot of people behind. You know, within the university administration, within the different kinds of student groups, and it was something that everybody could support. And I think that for us, you know, at the time when we started it, the CSU was fractured between different factions, the Commerce Administration Student Association, the Engineering and Computer Science Administration, and we just kind of went in there and said, we want to feed all of you guys. You know, there are hungry students who are commerce students, and there are hungry students who are fine arts students, and we'll feed any of them. And you know, that there isn't a radical element to that, but what we wanted to do was draw people on board, get people excited about it. And I think implicit in what we did were the radical politics, but we wanted to make people feel like they wanted to support it and make it feel natural to them. This is what the politic that we're talking about looks like. This is how it functions. This is how it interacts with people. This is how it enriches our community. This is how it changes our university. This is how, when we engage our radical politics and roll up our sleeves and sweat, this is what it looks like. This is how it changes a community. So I remember at the time we wanted some funding, and we went to the CSU, and the CSU was extremely forthcoming with the funding. But I was also so curious about working with the Commerce and Administration Student Association, and they said, the president, whose name I don't remember right now, said, look, if you write a good budget and put together a business plan, we'll 100% support this. You tell us how much money you want, and we'll support you too. I thought, oh, cool. And for me, it was an opportunity to say, yeah, okay, I'll put together the business case for this, because that's how you want to see it. That makes perfect sense to me. And I put together a business plan for him. I said, this is how much it's going to cost us per meal. This is where we're going to spend our money, and this is what we're doing. Here you go. He said, great. And they were happy to fund us and support us. And I think that was really exciting. And it wasn't just the student associations. Throughout the university, there were administrators who were on board and helpful and believed in it, and we met with them and we cultivated relationships with them. Donald Boisvert was the Dean of Students. He was really excited and interested. Michael DeGrappa was the Vice Rector Services. He was involved and active, and we all had a rapport together because we were all working together. And while we had a radical undercurrent that was really important to us and how we organized and what our methodology was and what our political philosophy was, we were really happy to bring as many people along for that journey to change the university as we could. So we had allies throughout the university. When the Gazette would write about us, the university was super happy to be a supportive partner in those conversations and so on. So that was a really valuable and important part of what we were trying to do. You know, we reached an endpoint with the university where they were no longer willing to further our interests, where there was a dichotomy. And the dichotomy became very, very clear and became very, very confrontational. But up to that point, we had a fantastic working relationship with virtually every department in the university. You know, the accounting department was happy to train us on using the internal budget systems of the university. The university health and safety department was a little bit more difficult to deal with. I think the person who ran that department was Sue Magar. She was challenging to work with, but her subordinates were quite helpful and would say, look, you know, you guys have to be sure that the temperatures in the fridge are this, and let's make sure that you have a proper system for your dishes and so on. So it was really good, I think, for us in terms of our whole philosophy to look at it as the building of a popular movement. And we had so many opportunities to create relationships and allies throughout that by the time years later we're working with the, trying to build the Concordia Kitchen Mosaic, which is a project that we didn't quite get off the ground, but was an exciting project to think about. We had allies in virtually every corner to work with us and build something that was quite exciting, or that felt like it was going to be really exciting.